Sure.
So, morning, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm TJ. I'm a newer member up here. Back in the May timeframe, when I got a position on the board, I reached out to Jens about doing a clinic on the resin cars. He says, yeah, go ahead and go with it. So I reached out to a friend of mine who owns Resin Car Works. He has a nice gondola, and I thought that'd be a wonderful kit to get people involved in. I've got it here. The one-piece car, so it's a more of a modern kit. It's not overly challenging. So he said, yeah, that would work out perfectly. So after our September meeting, I reached out to him and put an order in. You guys had all signed up for it. And I figured they'd arrive in the mail pretty quickly. They normally do. Earlier this week, I reached out to him. I says, hey, I haven't heard from you. You haven't cashed my check. He says, hey, I'm out of the cars. I'm not going to make any more. And that's where it was. So that was Tuesday of this week while I'm working on the car. And I'm going over to Jens's to put this PowerPoint together that we put together. Doesn't that look nice? Yes, thank you again. Makes me look like somewhat civilized here. So Thursday and Friday, I made the trip over to Naperville, Illinois for the Chicago Naperville RPM meeting. And my friend that owns Resin Car Works, he's one of the organizers for that. So, as soon as I get in the door, I kind of chat with him and he says, wow, I forgot who, that we know each other and stuff. And he says, would you still like those cars? And I says, like them. I says, I have a meeting Saturday morning that I was hoping to come to with my box under my arm. He says, I'll make them for you. We'll go back into them. So hopefully within 1 month, I should have those cars. So we're going to get back on track with that. So the cars are not here today. We are still going to proceed with it. They're a cool car. I have the PowerPoint that Jens assisted me with, and I kind of ran out of steam on Tuesday. Shame on me for not having this car built a month ago. And, so that's where we're at. But yes.
Suggestion, you're talking about building a resin railroad car. There are a lot of resin automobiles and vehicles and so on. And guess what? I do have a whole bunch of those on the wall in the store.
You got a very
Listen to what Jens, or to what, yeah, this is Jens, that's TJ. Listen to what TJ has to say about the process, because you can go check it out before he gets into the car business, but with automobiles, trucks, and whatever.
Right. Yours is a very nice Canadian produced ones, as I recall, right?
Most of them are. I do have a bunch.
Stilton?
I do have some American LaFrance.
Yeah.
No, not American. Some Seagrave fire apparatus from the 1950 Anniversary Series.
Okay.
And that's
easy. All right, so we'll start with this PowerPoint. It is short and brief because it only got about as far as, I was doing with this. My intention before I found out that we were going to be able to do these was I was going to kind of do these by email with everybody that signed up. So I would show you my progress this week, things like that. What I'm going to do is just go back and finish the car like I should have, add it to the PowerPoint presentation, which will be, you can reach out and grab it at any point in time. But we'll kind of start fresh from that. So today I just want to wet your whistles a little bit and give you some ideas of what's going on. So
let's move this table a little closer.
This one closer?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. We can go back and forth. See, if you're a little bit in the dark in the back there, this will be better. So, all right.
I've been in the dark for 65 years.
Is that all? Okay.
Right. Like me seated or?
That's good. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So that's my email address and my phone number. Please put them in your contacts. And if you have questions anytime,
So this will be posted on our website.
This sure will.
Eventually. It may not be next week, but it may be
right
next month or so.
Right.
Okay.
We'll get it up as soon as we can.
Because Paul's working now, so we got to give him a break.
Okay. All right. Working? Yeah, I figured he would be here today. So.
Oh, he's at the U of M game.
Good for him.
Get the right shirt on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the plan?
Okay. So why resin cars? There's more freight cars out there than there ever has been that are really high quality right now, but they are generally on the more popular largely produced types and varieties of cars. Resin car kits allow us to do those niche cars that are a little different, that aren't all the same, that maybe didn't sell as well, or every railroad didn't have. So it lets you kind of fine tune your rolling stock. So, okay, next one. This is the car that we will be building. Like I say, it's back in production for a run of 14 or 15, whatever we need. It's kind of a neat looking car. Next slide.
Just take a picture of it.
Yeah.
There we go. Made by ACF in 1934. And there were 100 of them. And it was considered a wood floor fixed end gondola. So kind of classy looking, neat looking car. Not, you know, not as boring as some steel side cars can be. All right, next slide. So with the Resin Car Works company, they have some wonderful instructions, and I've brought them along. But in order to save costs and efficiency and stuff, you have to download the instructions from the website. Okay, so if you would like to go to the website anytime between, you know, now and when we do that, you can do that and see what there is. I'm going to pass these around. Not all resin companies make instructions like this. Some leave you dangling. There you go. So that is, again, that's.
So how big is this particular company?
It's a husband and a wife.
Husband and a wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a municipal employee. I think he was a city engineer.
Okay.
And this is a passion of his. He used to work for, do most of the patterns. I'm trying to think of the big, somebody can remember the company that is no longer around that made resin kits forever. Sunshine, thank you.
Okay.
There you go. He was the pattern maker at Sunshine. So
okay.
he's very well versed in what he does.
So they do a minimum run.
Yeah,
And
whatever
a
he thinks.
limited run shouldn't be a
Yeah.
better word. Limited run, and once they sell out, they're done.
Yes.
So there's do they keep one of each at their house, or they?
I'm sure he does on his
Yeah.
mantle.
But you may find them on eBay still?
Yeah,
or-
you'll find them everywhere. In fact, they were for sale by other vendors at the RPM yesterday.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, so they're out there. You just have to do some digging.
Gotcha.
So with a company like this, if you kind of keep up with them and see the new products that they do, you may want to not hesitate. You know, don't wait 6 months or a year. If you're going to order some, do it soon.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
all right, next slide. Here are the tools needed to build one of his kits. This is everything that I have used so far. So I would recommend that before you sit down and start your kit, when you do, go ahead and grab all those things and just have them. You know, you can be so much more productive with your time if everything is ready. Yes, sir.
You've got emery board up there. You
Yes.
gotta be real careful with emery boards because they are curved, so you can fit your fingernail around them. What I do is slightly different. I go over to Sally Beauty Supply. I get the flat, foam-centered files they look just like that, oddly enough, and you can get them in several different grades. Grits.
Right.
Is that the foam
So-
filled one?
Yeah, is
Yeah,
this,
okay.
is this not an emery board then? Is this is what came from my lovely wife's side of the bathroom?
Well, don't steal those, go over there. I
Okay.
actually am a member of the Sally Beauty Club. Yeah,
Okay.
well, okay, here I am. Deal with it, but
Okay.
that's where I get my files.
Maybe a true emery board are the older flat ones, but this is what I use, and I've been using this one for quite a while. They last. This is nothing like Pete said, nothing specific. This is from a beauty shop or Meyer.
Do they sell different grits of them?
Yeah,
They're both sides are slightly different.
Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah, you can feel the difference.
Mhm.
and some of those you can get are four separate grits.
Okay.
And they come in different colors, and that's how you know
Yes,
which
yes,
one
that's how
got.
you can tell the difference, right?
Yeah.
I've seen those in hobby shops before. But anyway, so the emery board, Resin is very soft. It's much softer than styrene is. So as you're using it, go easy, try a swipe and look at it and maybe rub your finger along it and see it. But you say it's much softer. You don't do as much elbow grease or as much filing. I didn't even put file up here. I did not, I keep a file on my workbench, of course, but I kind of watch it around resin kits because a hack with that might mean a gouge, on the side of the device. So anyway, so an emery board, tweezers or a mini plier. I go back and forth, some days I feel like a tweezer, other days a mini plier. The mini pliers this is a kit that you can get at Home Depot,
Man,
and I recommend this.
get you back to the PowerPoint.
If anybody wants to see, I can pass them around or they'll be up here. But there's a little plier and a wire cutter. All right. And they're just a better price than you get on the internet and stuff for the two of them. Can't go wrong with them. Again, here's the box. I will pass that around. Home Depot. Okay, wire cutter. That was the second part of it. Any kind of wire cutter that you have, if you got something old around, as long as it's sharp and you can cut the small wires without squishing them. So, pin vise or pin vices. All right. Back in the day when I started in the hobby, my funds were much different, than they were. I had one pin vise, and I would spend time going back and forth between this drill bit size and that drill bit size. And as I proceeded in life and my quality of life got a little bit better, I figured let's grab multiple pin vices and make your world good. So wherever you get your pin vices, hobby shop, I get a lot of my stuff now online. I don't have a hobby store or anything real close to me in Cadillac, so I've had to go that route. But here is a pin vise that I have, and I know this color on the handle is a number 78. Okay, I should put a little 78 on it or something like that. But do yourself a favor and grab several of these so you can load them up and leave them that way.
So you find that chuck is pretty good? It doesn't slip on you, the chuck?
It is. This one, yeah. And this is not expensive. I want to say these were maybe $8 or $9.
Okay.
And they sell them in abundance of colors. So.
And
When you buy 78 blades, or 80 blades, you want to buy 40 of them at a time.
where'd you get that pin vise from?
I got it at Amazon.
Amazon. Okay.
Amazon.
Okay.
Yep. I could send you the link with these or just let you dig
So
it
they
up.
give you the range for the drill bit that you can put in
Yes.
there? Okay.
Yes. So, Pete mentioned drills. Same thing. Since I don't have a hobby shop, I get those online as well. This company I've heard good things about. I believe it's pronounced Euros. Spelled gyros, but I'm going to say Euros because I'm a Euro man. Love Greek food. So, buy your drill bits in quantity. You don't want to run out, and it'll put the brakes on your progress. So, okay, drill bit sizes that we need. So we got 43, 50, 75, and 78. That's all I've used so far on there. I'm using the real smaller ones, the 78s, to drill the holes through the side of the gondola. That would be about a 1-inch hole in the real prototype. Number 75, I use that on the bottom, put the stirrup steps on. Okay. That's where I use that size. The other sizes on there, I believe it was 43 and 50. They are on a 2-ended pin vise. Okay. And those are used for your tap. Has everybody used the tap before? Know how? Okay, cool. I recommend a little beeswax on a votive candle when you're using these. That lubes them up a little bit. But again, a 2-ended pin vise. And I should have a piece of tape around this or something. I usually keep these two things together in a bag on my thing so that I don't grab the wrong one. because I have another set for drilling smaller holes, number 80 drill holes. We're not going to be using any number 80s in this. You could, if you guys have them and like to use them, you know, jump in. All right. Razor saw, you know, whatever razor saw. I kind of like the old Atlas ones. I still, you know, that was from your youth, and I'll use those and wear them out. This is see what name, Exacto, okay. Very common, but there's no wrong or right. There is a newer razor saw out there if you do some really fine cutting. It's by a company called UHM. Has anybody ever heard of them? And it is a very precise blade that almost looks like a razor blade. You barely see the teeth in it, and it makes some very fine cuts. I'll bring that at another time for a show and tell. It's a good thing to have, you know, with your toolbox. You don't need it today. A dental tool. I use a variety of things. I use a dental tool for applying super glue, ACC, to things. It works for me. Sometimes I'll go to something smaller. I've actually used a sewing needle. That works good. If you have another pin vise, put a sewing needle in it and use that to apply ACC if you want a real small amount. So.
And also use kebab sticks,
Yeah, there you go.
toothpicks, etc.
Okay, and ACC, there's, you know, there's a million brands of that out there now. I don't know which one is better. I try to keep a couple types on hand, a thin and a thick. And most of the time I use a thin. And this is actually, I grab these little ones just because they get hard, you know, they dry up. So they're the bigger bottle that seems like it would be easier to use for me isn't always. So I keep these on hand. And if I use one for every project, you know, there we go. So, whatever brand. Okay, so that's the tools to start out with. Here we go. That's the photograph of basically everything I have here today. I guess I didn't mention an Exacto knife, but that's of course, that's one of the things. Another thing with this kind of a project, you can build this whole thing with one knife blade.
I pissed my wife off. I can't see the video.
I'm sorry?
I'm sick as a dog and
Hey, Walt. How you doing, Walt?
Wait a minute.
They're muted according to this. No, I don't know.
Somebody said they were sick in the dog.
That's Walt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, once again, there's what we're using today. Yeah, we'll go on to that next one.
Okay.
Car preparation, let's talk about that. With any project, even if it's plastic or whatever, I have kind of a clean phobia about things. So I'm gonna start out once I take the car, just unwrap it, check it out, you know, go around, maybe take off any little pieces of flash that might be on there. And on this specific company, there is very little flash. These are really clean. But cleaning the car, not once, but probably several times during the process, I think is going to give you a huge benefit. I use regular old Dawn dish soap, okay, and hot water. And that's just a little pan that you can't see it real well. It's something I grabbed at Dollar General. And a fresh toothbrush. I get a multi-pack because you're gonna, you know, go through toothbrushes. But I'll put everything in there right off the bat and clean it really well before anything. Yes.
Citrus cleaner,
Okay.
like Goo Gone, is a good way to go through there and then do your dish soap thing afterwards.
Okay. So you use it as an alternative, a second. Yeah. Okay.
The directions on that kit there specifically recommend, however, against Goo Gone because I think it softens their part. So
Okay.
just take that for what they say in there.
Okay. So again, you can't do it too many times. So this, I've handled this quite a bit. I have just a few that none of these are glued in, the grab irons. So I wasn't quite ready to do that. But before I start gluing things back in this, I'm gonna go back and scrub her down again. So,
Now, these kits, do they come with the grab irons?
well,
Or you have to get those separate?
so the guy that's supplying these to you is hooking you up. So
Okay,
I'm adding a bunch of different things to this. So I ordered screws that don't come with the kit. So
okay,
you'll have those. We're gonna have the wire for the piping underneath. I actually ordered weights from another company, from AccuRail. They still make a nice old flat weight like used to come in the Athearn car. So I have those that will fit in the bottom. Okay, so that we get that car up to a running weight. They're pretty darn
Mhm.
light otherwise. So
Okay.
I've got those already. They're a bit long, so before I get all that out to everybody, I'll use a chop saw and get those right to size and kind of help you out like that. So, you know, when you sit down, you can sit down and do
Mhm.
things, but
but normally if you buy like one of these kits from
Right.
somebody, the grab irons are not included.
They're
the
not.
Trucks
right.
are not included.
In this company, he does include the trucks and he's
Oh,
very
he does?
specific on the
Okay.
variety,
Okay.
which is wonderful. You're gonna
Alright.
like these. These are from Tahoe models, I believe is the
Okay.
name. And they're specific that were correct for that car. They're not just a generic.
And the couplers, right? Some,
Yeah,
they're
couplers
not
I'm gonna
included.
allow you to pick
Right,
because
right.
I like the scale size, like number 153, I think is what I use. Scale size coupler, short shank.
Do they give you the coupler boxes or just?
Yes,
The
yes,
boxes are included,
Yep.
not the coupler.
exactly,
Gotcha, okay,
exactly. So, okay,
all right,
we can go back to that
back to the slide.
next slide. All right, so scrub it out. You can see the other little thing right here. I should have had a pointer. This is how the parts come from the company. All right, so those are resin parts as well. So scrub them, they don't fall apart. Start out with those clean. Okay, let's go to the next one. Here is everything that actually comes in the kit. That's just what you get. So you've got up at the top, you've got the one-piece body. Off to the right, you have some very nice decals. Centered right below the car body is the floor of the car, and it's actually embossed. It looks like it's wood because it is a wood sided thing. I don't have that with me. I was actually thinking I might take the time to do strip wood and put that on the bottom. That kind of looks cool, but you certainly don't need to do that kind of stuff. And that weight that I had talked about would go between the cast iron floor and the decorative floor. So it's actually going to take a little bit of thickness, but that's okay. I think for that, the way you want them to run. If you're building something that's just going to sit on the shelf, it doesn't matter, but you know, you want your cars to be up to standard. So. All right, sir. Okay, the trucks were off on the right. You can kind of, like, they don't show up real well, but that's the freight trucks, and they are very nice. Those also need to get scrubbed several times.
Oh, you said they come with the trucks?
Yeah,
Well,
this kit does.
This kit
This
does.
kit does.
Other,
Yeah.
other
Most
ones
others,
may not, okay.
right, most other companies don't include it because they want you to put, you know,
Whatever you
whatever
want.
for your
Right.
era. You know, a lot of times a car, if it lasts 50 years, it might have had 2 or 3 different sets of trucks over the years. Some
Mhm.
go out of vogue, some are actually banned, you know, so.
Mhm.
But anyway, scrub those as well. Okay, in the center, you see something kind of brown right here. Those are turnbuckles from the Tichy company, and those are things that you can use underneath the car. They would go on the piping. We'll talk about that much later, but that's
These pieces right here?
right there. Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, I don't know whether you say Tichy or Tishy, whichever how you prefer. And then the other parts next to it that you're right by, those are there. Perfect. Thank you. That is a Tishy kit too. And they're kind of the standard for freight car kits. So he includes the Tichy sprue and his own parts. So there is some duplication here.
So his own parts are basically the body.
Yes. but there are some duplicate things on there.
Okay,
The air reservoirs, some of the other piping. So it's
so
just,
there may be some redundant parts in this.
yes, that's what I'm trying to get
Okay.
out there. There is some redundancy. So
Okay.
you can switch whichever you like. I don't think one is better than the other.
Okay,
One is styrene, the other is resin. So if you have, a preference, they're there.
okay.
So,
Before you go on to that, take a good look at that sprue collection there. Recognize that all that stuff that you're gonna have to get the resin off is
Yeah.
where you're back into your small container. But now you gotta get the soap and stuff off, and you do not do that under running water unless you have
a strainer.
large kitchen strainer, which you buy for yourself because you
Yes.
do not use what Madame is going to put the carrots in.
Point taken.
Trust me on this.
Once again, the Dollar General, I call it the dollar store, but it's Dollar General, the green one. Okay, they're everywhere. That's where I get a lot of my things, and I do have that. I have the biggest strainer that they have,
Yeah,
and it
it's
stays with my stuff.
not
So
that
yeah,
big around.
yeah, it doesn't get spaghetti in it
No.
and stuff like that. So it just gets. Those are wonderful to have when you're using things because well, as soon as it goes down the sink, it's gone. You're not
Well, there
gonna
are
reach it.
ways to retrieve it, but
Right.
you gotta get the water off really quickly.
So
because-
how do you know that?
Yeah, everybody is kind of like sticking your fingers together with ACC. It's gonna happen.
You wanna know what they stick together with ACC? Right there.
Yeah, sure,
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that was sewn up on Monday,
Was it? Okay.
and the stuff that looks like a bandage is already spread out the CA all over everything.
Okay.
That just
Did they use a thin or a gel?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I was just, that's good on paper cuts too.
Does that just disappear then? Or?
Yeah.
They don't have to peel it off, do
No,
they? It just
it'll
disappears.
go away eventually because your skin will reproduce and
Okay.
it'll say, yeah, okay, I don't need that anymore, and it'll go.
Peel it, it comes flakes
Couple
off.
weeks, a month, whatever, but
So you don't peel it off.
the thing is with
It comes
CA, the CA was originally developed for combat medicine. Get the guy off the battlefield, get him stop bleeding, and then you can get him to the aid station, where of course they have to take the CA off, and that must have been a cultural experience too.
Sure, exactly.
Because
Another
acetone is good for that.
Lots of colorful adjectives. Got it. Okay, I
All
think enough from that slide. If we go one further, okay. All right, I'll kind of talk you through this now. So we talked about the tools. You have the pin vise with the two different size. You have the bigger one would be the clearance one. I don't use that one too often. I use the smaller one much more frequently. If that's the one that you're going to cut, that you will then tap the threads into it with. So this is showing you that. So you can see the right hand bolster hole.
Which one, what part of the body needs the threaded?
So-
two for the trucks?
Yeah, two for the trucks, the two
Okay.
bolsters. You can see this one I've done. You can see the shadow difference. And here's the way that it comes. That one's flat. So you need to do both of those. And you say with the. Okay, and then you're gonna drill.
I'll put you back if you want.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, then the next thing, and I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but do both of those. And I have found that get in your way of doing things, whether it's to drill both holes and then come back and tap cut the threads into it. Every now and then I'll grab one that I've done and I didn't tap it, and I'll put the screw in and it's like, I'm
It's
tapping
like,
it.
it's like
I'm putting it in now,
self-tapping.
But I shouldn't have to use a full hand on that
Mhm.
screwdriver. You learn those things. So get in a way of however you do it and stick with it so that you're doing all your drilling like that. Don't set it down and go take a phone call or a bathroom break and come back, because that's when you make those little mistakes that you just hate.
Mhm.
So, okay, so we can go on to the next slide here. All right, now I have added the coupler boxes, and these are included. I'll get out of the way here. These are included as well. Now, there's a lot of different varieties with coupler box. There's no right or there's no wrong. Katie makes some real nice ones. There's a few other companies. Anybody in here use Sargent couplers? Nobody, okay. I don't either. So theirs use a little different, I don't think you can put a Katie coupler in a Sargent box, so. But these are not that way. These are, they're gonna be fine. Now, when I put these on, he makes these in a certain length. So I actually cut off, I'm gonna say a 1/16 of an inch on the back of the box. If you don't do that, it's not the end of the world, but the box will stick out of the end. I don't know how picky you are on that. Some cars had coupler boxes that did extend out from the car. I like mine, generally speaking, kind of even with the end of the car. But that's the nice thing about resin is you can mess with it. It's not a set way of doing this. There's a lot of flexibility in that.
Okay,
Okay.
that's the last slide.
That's it. Okay. So that's as far as I got, guys, before this. The only other thing that I did was to drill the holes in the sides and the ends of the cars. Okay, and there's little dimples on there
Oh, for the grab irons?
for the grab irons. So that is actually done. And some of them are slid in, but I haven't glued mine in. So I'm probably gonna wait on that to actually, I'll do some more work. The bottom of the car, we have not addressed. Okay, there's piping that goes on there. Everybody okay with piping? Because a lot of people think if it's under the bottom of a car, I don't see it, I don't care about it. And I understand that kind of a thought. Generally speaking, there's a lot of stuff that you don't see. But please try it when you get it. You'll learn about brakes and how brakes work. You just learn a little bit more about railroading there. So I'll go into more detail on that in the future. Two types of brake systems depending on your era. Hay brakes were the earlier ones that were used from the beginning of time up until, I'm going to say about the 1930s. And then A brakes or AB brakes, I guess, are the ones that replace them, and they're still in use today. Now they've been refined and stuff, but they have different fixtures. So there's, two varieties. So if this car, I believe, came right from the factory with AB brakes on it, but for a handful of you that are doing older timeframes, if you want to go with the K brakes, go for it. Okay. That's a whole nother part of the topic, getting things from the right area there. So, do we have any questions for?
Yeah, one question. Now, you talked about tapping the hole.
Yes.
Well, our instructions going to give us the size tap to buy?
Yes. I'll tell you what, it's written on there, and there is actually, Katie, one of my favorite tools from them, they sell a package with the tap and the two clearance drills all in it. And it comes in the manila envelope, just like the couplers do. I'll give you that number. I think it's about $12 for the three things. It's wonderful. You don't have to go hunting for different things. They make it in several different sizes too, if you're using different size screws for different projects. But it's one of those great deals where you get all three things together and you don't have to, go looking. But I'll give you the part number for it.
It's Katie
Can you put
1059.
the
1059?
Yep.
Okay.
website back up?
PowerPoint? Oh, the website, sure.
I got part of it wrote down, but I'm very slow.
Guys, I'm gonna put together an email group with everybody that's involved in this,
Yeah.
so that we can chat back and forth and stuff. As you get going on this eventually, please feel free to either call me or text me, or, we'll get together. I want you guys to succeed with this, okay?
That one? Yeah. Is
Yeah,
that it?
okay, I'm working on it.
Okay.
TJ, it'd be fun to have us build our cars and then maybe set a date
Yeah,
where we bring them in and.
that was kind of my
all
intention,
different
but since
Yeah.
both myself and the gentleman, Frank from Resin Car Kits, I felt that we kind of got offline here, but yeah, so let's do that. I mean, once I get the kits to you, then we'll set a date that, maybe the next, it could be as soon as the next month or
Yeah, I
the
think,
next 2
I
months.
think Walt online
Okay,
ordered one, I think, on your list,
okay,
but he missed the beginning when you said that you couldn't get the cars. Now they're coming, but they're coming later.
Right,
So.
right. So,
let-
yeah, so
let the
there's,
Wyatts know.
it's just one of those things that I wish today that I would have walked in with the kits under my arm and
Right.
guys, I don't.
It is what it is, and
It
that's
is.
all that
It
it
is.
is, and I'm
Yeah.
still waiting on
Yeah.
the kit that was supposed to have been delivered in the second quarter of 2025.
Sure.
Now, there were issues with the guy who was doing the work being in the hospital with heart problems and stuff, but, you know.
Okay, a couple of other hints that I just on doing these kind of things. I like to do precise things in the morning when I wake up. I'm 65 years old. I've had some changes. Doc, maybe you can go into a little detail.
I would second that.
Well, he's got a
So in the
special pill
morning-
you can take, right? Is there a special one now?
What's that?
A special pill to take now?
Yeah, there you go. That's a whole different.
It's coming.
But actually, I used to have perfect vision until I was 46 years old. I was blessed that I made it that far without ever wearing glasses. Well, now I wear glasses. My eyes are sharp in the morning. If you can do anything before you have that first cup of coffee, I swear it's a better time that, that you can you're at about as close to 100% as you can be throughout the day. Now, it's relaxing in the evening, but it's just not the same after a full day of living. And your eyes are strained and maybe your patience. These take patience. So guys, if you're getting angry, if you're getting frustrated, walk away. Walk away, go do something different, edge the sidewalk, and then come back and everything's better. Yeah, exactly. I'm a Manhattan guy. And so in the evenings, I tend to have 2 Manhattans. And as you start out, it feels okay. And then it's like, nah, maybe I'll push these away.
You need a different kind of Manhattan, you need a Canadian.
Okay. Canadian, all right, I'll try that. But lighting is another thing. I have 2 different workbenches and I have, the one that I have in my garage, I just built. And I've been told that it's not going to be there any longer. It's on my wife's side of the garage.
Oh, no.
I erred pretty seriously. But I took one of the pre-cut tabletops, built a nice thing, and then I put 2 arms up over it where my light is, my LED fixture. Would have been fluorescent back in the old dark ages, but a nice LED. And then I have another LED that goes right over my workspace. You can't have too much light at this point in life.
Mhm.
Do that, take frequent breaks. Like I say, walk away when you get angry. You're gonna have little mistakes. You're gonna put a hole where you didn't mean to. If you haven't done a lot of drilling lately, grab a piece of your styrene that you have sitting around and maybe figure out which way you want to drill. There's a million different ways to hold it and to do it and to put the proper weight on it. So test that out on or not on resin, but on some plastics, some styrene, lots of wood.
So how much softer is that material?
It's a lot. I don't know. What if I told you 43%?
Okay.
No, it's 47.2.
There you go. Okay. If it's gray, that's for gray resin. For black resin, it's 45%.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's substantially.
Okay.
And it's one of those things that go easy and stay away from, you won't need you probably don't use a bigger file. I have a favorite file that I've had for forever. That's probably a little bit worn out. We have those kind of tools like that, but this just go easy. You know what I mean? Kind of look, do a cut or two and then go back at it. The oily thumb is good to clean the little minute filings off and stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, so just realize that it is soft.
TJ, what's your best way to paint?
Okay, so that brings up a whole nother part of the hobby that I didn't reach out. I'm an airbrusher. I love to airbrush things. I know some people don't have I have to buy an airbrush. I have to learn how to use it. I have to have a compressor. I think that's a big tool in the hobby. So I will put a plug in there. And if any of you have not used an airbrush and would like to learn, I would love to help you out. Okay, so this car is black. It's a basic kind of black color. I don't know where you're at with your colors. I don't like to use a pure black on much of anything. Black is too, it's just too black. So I would mix up my paint, whatever brand it's going to be. I use several different, types, but I would add a few drops of white into it. Okay, you'll almost think that you're not doing anything to it, but you are. You're making it just slightly lighter, and you'll appreciate that later because nothing's, a shiny Corvette is black, but nothing else in this world is. You know what I mean? It's just, especially rolling stock. It's out in the weather, it gets beat, it's sunlight, it gets the world on it. So I'm a fan of staying away from true black paint. But again, so
Look at your tires out on your car, the brand new ones you put on yesterday. They're great. They're not black.
they are. Just like the roadway that you're on. It's not, we call it blacktop, it's gray. So any other questions on paint? Like I say, I'm a fan of airbrushing. That could be another topic.
Probably decals.
Decals, all right. The decals that they give you, they're good. They're nice. Decals have come a long way in the last number of years. They've gotten thinner. The printing is much better on them. So the old set of Champ decals that you have from 30 years ago aren't like these. Okay. I am a fan of getting as much gloss on your paint before you decal. That makes things better. It'll stop that like shadowing, the silvering that you get behind it. Yeah.
Okay, when you look at paint under a microscope, that flat black that you put on there and everything is cool, it's gonna look like this. So your decal that goes on top is gonna look like that. Which is to say,
It's not flat.
you got all
Right.
those little holes in there
Yes.
that are reflecting light in and out in the other direction,
Yeah.
and that's gonna get a gray thing behind it that you don't
Right.
want.
Right.
What you do when you put a gloss surface on it is make it flat, so there is no hole in there. And you have no light reflecting running around loose where it doesn't belong, and you've got a decal. Well, okay, now I got like gloss all over my cup. That's what the flat finish is for again. I just hit it again. No bigs, works good, lasts a long time.
My favorite gloss coat type paint is kind of, actually, it's not gloss coat. It now is furniture or floor wax.
It's future.
Future.
Used to be future, but
There you
now
go. It's had about 5 names.
no, it's got a new name and
Yeah.
they've renamed it 2 or 3 times. And
Yes.
something or other with future,
Right.
future
It-
shine.
It works very nicely.
Yeah.
You don't have to thin it. You can basically take it right out of the little jug that it comes with.
Hardware store.
Hardware store. 15, 18, 20 pounds in your airbrush.
Yeah.
Okay, do it. It dries pretty quick. There's no major cleanup with the brush. And then another thing that a lot of people have gotten to is we used to, after we decaled them, when we were totally ready to go on to finishing, we used to go right to dull coat. Now there's a different thought. We're going to go to a second coat of gloss, whatever kind of gloss it is you're using. In my case, it would be that
Pledge.
future, again, pledge, whatever.
With future shine.
Right. Put a second coat over that. That will hide the edges of the decals a little bit better than just going to dull coat. So, and then when you dull coat, I still use regular old fashioned Tester's dull coat. I still think that's a good, viable product. You can put it over pretty much anything. You can put it over an acrylic paint or a lacquer or enamel, whatever it is you're using. I use True Color paint now for most of my stuff. Anybody used it or have any yays or nays for it? Yeah, no, I'm in True Color brand. That's
The dull coat, what I found, the spray cans,
Uh-huh.
you have to heat them up.
Yes.
Put them in hot water,
wonderful.
works great, but I found that using the airbrush with the regular dull coat does a better job.
I think so too. That's where I always go. I keep a can around, a small can, like you said. That's for emergencies or that day where you just don't want to. I don't want to clean an airbrush, or I don't want to take the time. So it's point.
Couple things, that dull coat can, take a real good look at the bottom. If you see any sign of rust at the bottom of the can, get rid of the can.
Well, half a dozen I bought from that hobby shop.
I don't know where you keep them.
The rusty half price ones.
You can keep them out on your deck.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the can itself has a propellant in it and the rust can go through, and as soon as you start to work the actuator, the whole thing can blow up.
You're gonna wear it then. Okay.
Well, you're gonna be on the way to the hospital.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
You
good.
mentioned the hot water trick, Ernie, and that's great with any
Yeah.
spray paint. A bucket of hot water. I don't know what it does. If it thins the paint, it just makes it more
It
efficient.
increases the pressure. That's
Yes,
basically-
yeah, it does something good, but put it in a
Hmm.
bucket of hot water and then just make sure the can's dry before you,
It doesn't rust on the bottom.
well, but I just mean that one drop is gonna fall on what you're,
And you're gonna monkey around with the future,
Yep.
and so on in the airbrush. Now you gotta clean the airbrush, and the way to do that is ammonia. Just spray some ammonia through it, it's good, like, it's good.
So when we get to the painting part, we can talk about it and maybe try some different things. Again, if anybody would like to come over and paint a car at my place or get together, whatever, I'm totally open. I want you guys to have fun and succeed with this and not say that was the work, it was like getting a root canal. I don't want that. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear it was like a evening Manhattan.
One of the flats from the kit there, just,
Yeah,
I mean, that part, not the bottom. I'm talking
oh,
about-
no, I don't, I
Why don't you
didn't
pass
bring
this
it with me.
around?
Yeah,
This will give people an idea of what they're gonna have to cut out
yeah,
and file.
right. This is where some time goes into it. This is
This is
Right.
the hardest part of those kits, I think.
yeah,
Which piece is that? That's the.
this is the
It's all
part
little
that he
details.
has.
You have to cut
Right,
out.
All the pieces.
details.
Okay, okay.
right. And those are a little different, with every car. This is the way he does them, but again, take your
And
time.
there's an example, I just picked it up and some parts.
One
fell
came off, yeah.
So get rid of
Right.
your drain.
Right.
Another thing, you got that file there, it's a black one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the bad grit. That's the heaviest grit they've got. What you want is one of the pink ones or one of the blue ones, or maybe even the gray one, which is almost
Yeah.
like paper.
The ones that Pete is talking about, I've seen them in Ryder's Hobby down in Flint and Grand Rapids. They're both set up the same way.
Go to
But they-
Sally's.
Do they have them in different colors
That's
there?
right by all mine.
I didn't realize that. Okay, cool. Good to know. Thank you. Go to Sally's, guys. But yeah, less is better with these.
There's a lot of other interesting stuff they've got at Sally's that you can use in your hobby here. And,
Like for weathering and stuff,
all
the
that and.
makeup appliers and stuff like that.
That stuff,
fall.
actually nail polish is a good insulator.
Okay,
You need to get two wires or something up again. Yeah, I don't want that conducting electricity. Little
Yeah.
blorts or whatever nail polish you want to use. You can get clear, you can get all sorts of different colors.
Yeah.
Gold, blue, or whatever it is you guys
Perfect.
have.
You can, stretch builder's tip here that I use is you get the short paint sticks, paint string sticks.
okay.
Go to your, or you can strip with it, go to your, you might have to go to your automotive, store. You can get grits down to like 400,
You got a 3,000?
3,000.
Are you talking about regular sandpaper?
Regular sandpaper, they can glue that
Onto the, like.
onto your
popsicle
wood
stick?
strip,
Yes,
whatever. I use it a lot for like filing out window openings. and
Yes.
stuff.
3,000 is like this.
yes. I was amazed at
Glue
how
Weight
fine
it,
you can get.
make any
sandpaper.
size grit stick you
3,000.
want.
Basically not even sandpaper. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, yeah.
Anyway,
But here, I just wanted to show if anybody wants to see it different. This is Westerfield, great company, kind of the granddaddy, been around for a long time.
Yeah.
This is the way things used to come. They didn't do one-piece bodies. So we'll pass that around. So on this one, you would have to cut this out. You would have, of course, two sides,
Two longs
and two ends.
shorts.
And getting them, the biggest thing with these was getting everything, like to say, I shouldn't say everything, but the two sides need to be exactly the same length.
Yeah.
Okay, and the two ends need to be exactly the same length. You remember from math class, you want a square or a rectangle, you don't want a parallelogram. How's that? That'd be a good way of putting it. Cars don't look good in parallelogram shapes, so,
They need to be plumb.
they need to be plumb. Yeah, 90-degree corners on them, stuff like that. These are still, they're fun, they're feasible, you know. This was $15 yesterday. You know, this was probably $35 or something back in the day. But, don't be afraid to try them, guys. Anybody have any other questions? Otherwise, I'm finished. Thank you for listening. Again, guys, I apologize for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I can feel it.
Okay, time for 15-minute break.